Hey, I've got a new book out. It's called Doll Bloods. It's a nice piece of comedic fantasy, inspired by stuff like Terry Pratchett and Yancey Crowshaw's first novel, Mogworld. If you're looking for something new to read and feel like supporting a struggling indie, check it out. Links are in the description.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I've been looking forward to this movie for a good long while after I missed out on seeing the only screening of it in my town thanks to an oil spill at work. But now, my copy of the collector's edition from Umbrella Entertainment arrived, watched it twice, and hot damn is this movie good. It is a huge improvement over the original that still suffers from a lot of the same flaws. Picking up sometime after the events of the previous film, we follow Christopher Robin as he tries to get his life back together after the events of the 100 Acre Massacre. But as he's trying to do that, Al convinces Pooh, Piglet, and Tigger to take the fight to the town of Ashton and start really raising hell instead of just causing mischief in the 100 Acre Wood. Now, one thing about this movie that's noticeable right off the bat is the increase in the budget. The original movie was made on a budget of around $50,000. This film had $500,000 to work with, and you see it right away. The costumes for Pooh and the gang, they are a significant improvement. They actually look like living creatures rather than just, well, stiff rubber suits of all things. And you also see some much better practical effects as well. And hell, everything about the movie just looks bigger and better. The money was placed where it needed to be. It was well spent. But despite that though, the movie does still suffer from what I like to call some jagged edgeisms. That's the name of the production company, Jagged Edge. They've made a bunch of other low-budget horror films that have very cheap effects, and Blood and Honey 2, despite the extra money, is no exception to this. I mean, there's a scene where a guy gets killed by Al off-screen, and you see him and Pooh throw the guy's arm and leg into the river, but you can clearly tell they're just PNGs of 3D models. Like, you guys couldn't afford to buy a bloody mannequin, saw the legs off, and just cover him in some fake blood? Like, stuff like that just has you going, what the hell? But at the same time, Pooh and the gang are actually quite entertaining. They've actually tried to translate their personalities from the book with how they behave and interact, and the actors actually do a good job of working with the costumes to really sell that these are living, breathing characters. My only real complaint with this, though, is that it kind of feels like the production team gave up trying to translate their personalities at some point, because, like, with Tigger, yeah, he initially comes off as being this hyperactive killer who likes playing with his victims. I mean, there's this one scene where he's like taunting a girl who he's blinded and he's eating her eyes like grapes. But most of the time he's just acting like Scary Terry from Rick and Morty, just going, bitch. Whereas Al, on the other hand, he feels more consistent, and Piglet, they bloody wasted him. I mean, he had the best kill in the first movie, and they kill him off. They just, out of nowhere, they just kill Piglet. Like, what the hell? The music is also fantastic. It's actually got a really good soundtrack, a particular highlight being the rave scene. That really helps sell the chaos of what's going on when Pooh shows up and just starts tearing up hell amongst all the people at the rave. The acting's also really good too. Huge improvement above all else from the first film. But the actor playing Christopher Robin, he does a really good job. I mean, like, he really gives the character emotion and actually kind of helps elevate what is essentially a B-movie into something that is closer to, I want to say, a A- movie, but probably B+ is a better term. But if I had to really complain about one thing, it would have to be the gore. See, this film had the producer for Terrifier 2 involved. If you've seen the Terrifier movies, you know those things are just overflowing buckets of blood and giblets. Whereas this movie, while it does have some good kills and some good practical effects, you don't really see a whole lot of stuff. You don't really see a whole lot of that stuff compared to, well, Terrifier of all things. And when you do, it is kinda disappointing. I mean, in the opening scene, there's a girl who's been burnt alive before Al just impales her through the head with a wooden pole, and the makeup on it just doesn't look that good, even with the dark lighting, I'll be honest. The only other thing I have to say is I also like how they connected this more directly to the original film, in that they actually retconned the original film into actually being part of this movie's universe. It's an adaptation of the 100 Acre Massacre. Like, that's actually a great way of addressing the previous film's much lower production budget and crappier costumes. Overall, I loved Blood and Honey 2. It was great to finally see it. I wish I could have seen it at the cinema, but again, oil spill at work, more money had to be made. But it is a good movie. Like, it was worth the wait. I'm glad I paid the $75 for the collector's edition, and I actually do recommend you check it out. It's a fun popcorn slasher flick that's full of blood, it's full of guts, and it's full of fun and charm. I honestly can't wait for Blood Honey 3 and the other movies planned in the TCU. That's the cinematic universe this movie is a part of.
Alright, thanks for watching this video. I hope you'll appreciate it. If you really enjoyed it, please hit the like and the subscribe buttons. That'd be great too. For real, it's been great to do another movie review after so long. I might finally be back in the regular swing of doing these again. Now, as for other content, I'm still working on the script for a gaming video. Originally it was just going to be a review of a horror game called Jawbreaker, but now it's turned into a full-blown backlog showcase instead, because too much good stuff kept coming out. I'm also planning to put out a new type of video called Off the Cuff. I've got the script written up. It's basically a blog/essay, just me talking about something that I've had stuck in my head for a good while now and just wanting to get it out there, and maybe attract some people who are beyond my usual audience to the channel. Also, don't forget to check out Doll Bloods, links are in the description. I've got all that and more coming up, so please stick around.